You're here, I'm queer, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we will be tackling the founder, president, and the editor-in-chief of Your Thing magazine and the reigning queen of fashion, Burdine Maxwell. Burdine, like the Tweevils, has never had any doll representation that I know of because it is said that Burdine represents Barbie in the Bratz world. The love for anything pink, being the queen of fashion, and having an older style was kind of a downfall for Barbie when Bratz first came out. It's kind of like out with the old, meaning Barbie, and in with the new, meaning Bratz. Burdine is the owner of Your Thing magazine, and she is the boss of the Tweevils. She is not their mother, and she is actually rumored to have had some plastic surgery by the Tweevils, so I decided to take that approach into this doll. I want her to look really exaggerated and over the top with her face, that she makes the other regular Bratz dolls look normal and natural looking. I was very inspired by Pearl's character, Roxanne, when I was creating Burdine. Crazy lips, tightly pulled face, and over-the-top cheeks. For her fashion, I wanted to maintain her jacket and skirt set, but I wanted to translate it into the 80s. The 80s came up with power suiting. It is when women would wear big shoulder pads to have a more masculine shape, and it was kind of like a staple uniform look for women in the professional field. And I can actually see Burdine in the same setting, so let's get started. For our reigning queen of fashion, I'll be using two dolls. Vladonna, actually, created by Pearl for the head, and headless Headmistress Bloodgood from Monster High for the body. And this is actually the big sister type doll. I will be exaggerating her waist again because the costume will appear really bulky and I want the emphasis to be on her shoulders. So like always, I will be cutting her torso in half with a saw, and please be careful and have adult supervision if you guys try this. I hot glued wire inside to act as a spine and stabilizer, and I went in with my epoxy sculpt to blend the two together. And as always, all the materials will be up on hexgen.com. That is hexgen.com. The link will be down below. I will be color matching this with paint, or at least I will be trying. I think I did good though. Since Burdine is a little older, she will be rocking some more sensible heels. She's not going to do some stilettos. These are from the actual Bratz dolls, and I want her to be compatible with them. So I will be cutting off her feet like the rest of the Tweevils, so we can add the hanger screws in them. And this is the same exact technique that I've done with Kirsty and also Casey. I'm just using a manual drill to drill in the hole for the screws to go in, and that will adhere and connect the legs and also the Bratz shoes. Now let's go ahead and put that on the side and let's work on her face. Since I really want her face to be very exaggerated, I will be modifying it with epoxy sculpt. Again, I will be enhancing her lips, her nose, and also her cheekbones. This was honestly so much fun because I found it to be so over the top and the proportions are just so insane. Like for the lips, they're not meant to look symmetrical. This is heavily inspired again by Pearl's character Roxanne here on YouTube, and she's so funny. But I really think that this is what non-Bratz fans see when they look at the Bratz dolls. So I really want her to look so exaggerated that when people compare, they're like, oh my gosh, the Bratz dolls are like so natural. They're like so natural and so like proportional. Now that we have her face completely sculpted and sanded, we can now move on into painting her face with acrylic paints. I'm using paint to match her skin because paint will give her a certain texture that can look like aging skin, which is what we're going for. After everything has dried, I primed everything with Mr. Super Clear, and we can finally draw on her face. Since she's still in the Bratz world, I want her to look like she's just an older Bratz doll, so I gave her similar styled eyes, but I made her brows a lot higher, like really high, and pulled back like Divine, the drag queen, to look like she has face tapes, which a lot of drag queens use, like Miss Fame. They use it to pull the face tighter and kind of exaggerate the eyes. And I'm still adding some wrinkles on her forehead and under eye to show some signs of aging. I'm adding the colors in the same layer so we can build upon it quickly. She is the queen of fashion, and Christine Casey just replicated her makeup look. So instead of a gradient effect on her eyelid that I did for the Tweevils, I'm doing a garage door eyeshadow look. This means that we're using one color for the entire lid. There's not gonna be any shadows, there's no smoky eye, nothing, no dimension at all. It's not really in fashion right now, but it was before. So I think Burdine can be stuck in her ways for the most part. To emphasize her cheekbones a lot more, I am contouring it with different shades of brown. Her blush is going to be out of control, so I'm also adding it in the beginning so we can build upon it like the other colors. I want her neck to look aged as well, you know, aging, so I'm adding some lines to it too. To really exaggerate the bird beak look on her nose, I made her nostrils really pointed and thin. I'm overlining her lips to act as a guide for the pink paint. And this is literally the perfect Burdine pink. Now I'm just highlighting the high points of her face to give it more of a three-dimensional look. Now let's go ahead and line her eyes. I was about to not give her a wing liner, but I just can't resist on how timeless a wing eyeliner is. So yeah, I can't help myself. I can't be tamed, you guys. Whenever you have to draw on something that you change a skin color, be it with pastel or even paint, you have to be very light-handed and work in layers. I mean, it's always been key to work in layers, but in this time you have to do it more so because you don't want to rub off the actual skin that we applied. Instead of a harsh black, I made her brows a gradient from brown to black. Now let's just detail everything else and make sure the eyes are crystal blue. So despite adding the molded features like her chin, her lips, her exaggerated cheekbones, her nose, you still want to shade in those areas with shadows where the light actually hits it. You want to add the additional shadow onto it because this will give it additional detail and also dimension. It would literally make it pop, especially for the look I was going for, which is just very heavy and also exaggerated. And now let's draw on the lower lashes. Referring to the original Burdine look, I smoked out her lower lashes to appear more dramatic. Now with our white acrylic paint, we give her the catch lights. Using Jeffree Star Skin Frost Highlighter and Ice Cold, I give her the most blinding highlight ever. Surprisingly, Burdine can keep up with some makeup trends nowadays. To really make her lips appear even bigger, I'm glossing it up with Sculpey Gloss Glaze. Try saying that 10 times fast. Now it's time for the 3D lashes. I just used individual human fake lashes, and roughly I used 40 for both eyes, 20 in each. I'm not even kidding, I literally layered it. Crazy, I know. And now we're done with Burdine's face, and I love it so much. It's so over the top and exaggerated, very funny looking also, and probably the most natural looking doll I've ever made. Moving on to her outfit. I want to say another huge thank you to dolluxedesigns on Instagram for making my visions come to life. She always pulls through with my crazy visions, and I wanted her, like I said, to have a Chanel / Mugler inspired business suit that looks very 80s. And here you go. Since the pink lapel that she added appeared a little more violet than pink, I'm painting over it with the Burdine pink to match her lips and also her shoes. I'm also painting white trims on it as an extra detail. I'm also adding trims to her sleeve cuffs. And now we're done with her jacket. Let's give her a brooch to represent Burdine. This is actually a necklace charm that I painted gold. Obviously, it says B on it, and I got it from Michael's actually. So it was perfect as a brooch. For her crown, instead of white pearls, I'll be making it gold to match the rest of her medals in her body. She's gonna have gold earrings, gold brooch, and all that jazz. And I also thought that it would be kind of cute as a contrast with the tweevils because I gave them silver so she can have the classic gold. So this crown is actually from Apple White from Ever After High. My gosh, I know it's been a while since I mentioned Apple White. And it fits perfectly well on her head. I just sprayed with metallic gold, and I'll be adding pink jewels from this earring I got from the dollar store. I'm actually using this earring also for her earrings. I decided to add different sizes and clear gems to keep the pink gems as the focal point. I painted some pearl details to give tribute to her original crown, and I thought it would be a good break from the gold and also the gems. I actually opted out from the other clear gems for another set of pink earrings to represent the tweevils in her crown. So you have the big pink gem as Burdine, and you have the two small gems as the tweevils. For her belt, I wanted a touch of a real-life designer in there, so I will be making a mold out of this Chanel earring. I take my Easy Mold silicone putty and I mix 2 equal parts together to create the mold. Then I just press the earring onto it and it should cure after 20 minutes. I then take my epoxy sculpt again to create the actual buckle. I just pressed that onto the mold and I waited for it to dry overnight. After curing, I just painted pearlescent white so it doesn't compete with her overall outfit. For her shoes, I got this pair from a thrifted Bratz doll, and at this moment, I love how they look like kitten heels. Like, they're very sensible. So I'm just going to color match the skin of the foot part, and I paint the pump the same Burdine pink, like her lapel and also her lips. Despite it being red, I still have to paint the bottoms red to clean it up and make it more of a cherry color red rather than a berry red. I then add the bows onto it. Now we know where Casey got her shoe style from. Now for Burdine's one and only companion, Royale. I got this Chihuahua resin figure from Amazon, although it is a little too big than how Royale was in the show. I thought Royale was a Chinese crescent, which kind of makes sense, but apparently the internet says otherwise. Like, they are saying a lot of things, so, you know, we'll go with Chinese crescent. Royale's coat is actually kind of the same color as this one. I just need to lighten the color of its hair on the head and also the chest. Then I make its eyes more black and I also paint its nose and mouth black. Royale has black nails, which I started painting, but then I decided to make it pink because Burdine would never miss that opportunity. Now for the additional fur. I'm actually using the same fur that I used for him's skirt. It's not completely the same, so I do the same exact process of dyeing the fur on the stovetop and turning it from white to pink. I just cut out small pieces and then I add it onto the ears, the head, the legs, and also for the tail. This was also a fun experience, not gonna lie, but make sure to wear a mask when trimming furs or even feathers. They literally fly everywhere and I don't think it's good to inhale any of that. Also, when you guys are cutting the fur or whatever you guys are trying to do, don't cut it at a 90-degree angle. Oh my god, here we are again. But try cutting it inward, like I'm doing it right here. I'm cutting it like with the scissors pointing onto the actual hair, not perpendicular to it. Wow! I take a soft wire and I wrapped it with fur to make a bendable tail. I'm also excessively brushing all of the fur to make sure that there are no loose fur that can come out later that I will be sniffing because I cannot be bothered. And as you can see, we have a bendable cute tail and I'm just gonna hot glue that onto his butt. Using a gem remnant from that earring, I use it to make Royale a fancy collar. And now we're done with Royale. Now for Burdine's necklace, I take these pearl beads and I made her a classic pearl necklace. Nowadays, pearls are associated to be a little more for the mature side of fashion, but I personally love pearls. Now we have everything done, let's assemble our reigning queen of fashion. I feel like you just have to say it like that. As always, in the end, I made a few changes, like giving her the actual belt bow. That wasn't in the initial design, but I thought that she needed it to really emphasize her shoulders a lot more. And then for her hair, I was gonna give her a big pompadour, but I decided to go for the bun so that her main focal is her amazing crown. To give her hands more flair, I gave her long talons using doll packaging, and I cut it up, and I super glue it, and I paint it with the same exact Burdine pink. And now we're done.
I'm here for the student internship. Burdine's office is up ahead. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mother of Pink! And what are you supposed to be?
I'm Rarity, your new student intern. I just want to tell you that I am so excited to be working here with you in your thing. I've got a ton of ideas for the magazine.
Oh, really? Do share.
So I was thinking that maybe we can do florals for spring, maybe cerulean sweaters, and also...
Stop! Just so we understand each other, I come up with the ideas. Your thing is my magazine. You worked for me, and your title is... nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Burdine, you have Cruella in line 1. Yeah!
Here's your first assignment. Now get busy. Cruella and I have some business to attend to.
Do you guys know what Burdine likes for lunch? Sure, we'll throw it in the order, but it's your turn to pick it up from the deli. Oh, thank you. You guys are the best. Yeah.
Oh, Barbara, don't even worry. Bratz magazine may be on the spotlight, but they won't know what hit them. Your thing magazine is gonna rise from the ashes and... Oh, Mother of Pink, what is that?
Your lunch.
Lies. What are you trying to do? Make me sick? I only eat greens.
But they told me...
Spare me your excuses. You are fired, you hear me? Fired! And not only will you never, ever work for this magazine again, you will never work for any magazine. Am I making myself quite clear? You are fired for life. In fact, even your children and your grandchildren are fired! Fired! Fired!
I guess it's back to Ponyville.